Hey Rachel, have you done the fill in the blank with basically any class homework yet? Ask Rachel Morris this question and about 99.9% of the time, her answer will be, literally, I haven't even started. Hey guys, my name is Iliana Watson and I have been given the great honor of introducing my newfound friend, Rachel Morris. Now, most of you know Rachel as that blonde-haired girl that can draw really well. That girl that can eat bosses 5 days a week and yet still manage to roll out of bed in the morning in a decent-looking outfit, only to arrive late to school nearly every single day. That girl whose absence is so expected that it no longer phases her teachers, and that girl who turned down a cough drop from Miss Ray because it was just phlegm. Honestly, I didn't really pay much attention to Rachel throughout high school, but this year I have been given the great opportunity of sitting next to her in AP Physics, where she'll occasionally show up, if she isn't running to the nurse for penicillin or just too sick to show up that day. Rachel is one of those people who never fails to keep things interesting. She is insightful, intelligent, hilarious, at times disgusting, but I couldn't imagine a day without her. So here she is, the beautiful, genuine, awe-inspiring Rachel Elizabeth Morris.
We are all selfish. Bear with me now, I'm not just trying to call y'all mean names or make you feel bad. There's a deeper meaning and point to this. Mankind's hardwired default setting is to be deeply self-centered and to see and interpret everything through this lens of self. I readily admit that everything in my own immediate experiences supports this primal, almost animalistic belief that I am the absolute center of the universe, the realest, most vivid, and important person in existence. We don't like to talk about these beliefs that everyone has, however, because it is so socially abhorrent. But if we think about it on a deeper level, we realize the terrifying accuracy of this statement. There is no experience we have had that we are not the absolute center of. Other people's thoughts, feelings, or opinions have to be communicated to us somehow. Our own are so immediate and real. So it is incredibly difficult to think about the world or people's experiences from a perspective other than our own. Of course, as humans, we possess sympathy and compassion, so we do worry and care about others, but not in the same manner, with the same intense subconscious attention that we do ourselves. For example, many people care about others and do incredible works of service. If we ask someone why she volunteers, the answer is usually to help others, to make others happy, or to make others feel better. But in actuality, it often goes farther than that. Though these are real answers, the deep-seated truth behind them is often that doing these good or kind things makes us, the doer, happy. There is obviously nothing wrong with deriving joy through service. I do, and I encourage it. But the way to consciously remove ourselves from the center of our own universe is not through service. Rather, it is about paying attention to what's going on around us and inside us. We need to have a profound understanding of ourselves in order to start shifting away from our natural self-centered tendencies. In other words, we need to understand our own perspectives before we can begin embracing others and escaping the ideology perpetuated so heavily in our world today. An ideology that says, I am the most important person and my job in life is to satisfy my desires. Our economy even thrives on this ideology of self-indulgence, self-gratification, and self-advancement. So escaping this is no easy task. I myself have a long way to go before I'll feel as though I've become close to mastering this ability to remove myself from the center of my universe. And sadly, the times I believe that have helped me the most in seeing the world through a lens other than that of self-experience are some of the hardest times of my life thus far. Pain is often isolating and can even perpetuate the idea that we're the center of the universe, but it had the opposite effect on me. Losing my grandfather suddenly last summer to pneumonia, then weeks later losing my great-grandfather to a stroke was one of the hardest things I've been through. But seeing my grandmother lose her husband, then weeks later her father, was harder. This pain I felt must pale in comparison to what my grandmother was experiencing. This was one of the most constructive times in my journey to what some may call well-adjustedness, or the understanding that the world does not revolve around me. It caused me to imagine what my grandmother must be experiencing, and in turn remove the lens of self that we so naturally view the world. Now, I am not arguing that y'all need to experience something awful to grow as people. I am arguing that we have to make a conscious decision to try to think differently. This is hard. It will take time, energy, and a lot of it. There will be powerful moments in this path like those I have experienced, but there will also be smaller, more common moments in this path. They all lead to the ultimate goal of being able to understand our own perspectives, but also, more importantly, embrace others' perspectives. Some of you don't need me or anyone else to help you on this journey. And the majority of you are already well on your way to achieving this ultimate goal just through your life experiences thus far. So, if you take away nothing else from this speech, take away this. We are all selfish, but we all possess the power to change that, and it starts with the choice to think differently. Thank you.